Welcome back, everybody, to the Good Shepherd Sports YouTube channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful 2022 so far. You're staying healthy, you're staying safe, you're staying warm. I know right now what is not safe is the status of Frank Vogel when it comes to being the head coach of the LA Lakers. Listen, to me, he does not belong as the head coach there anymore. And it's simple. It has nothing to do with X's and O's. It has nothing to do with in-game management. What it has to do with is his lack of belief in himself as the head coach and what his autonomy should be as that Lakers head coach. What in the world are you doing going to Lakers management in order to get their approval to bench a player that, quite frankly, stinks it up more than a pig in a haystack? Seriously, Russell Westbrook is a Hall of Fame player. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame player. Make no mistake about that. But the guy's game has significantly diminished when it comes to attacking the rim, missing easy layups, missing dunks, his inability on defense to stay in front of the guys, his regression as a free throw shooter, as a three-point shooter, his turnovers per game has not wavered whatsoever. That's not a good thing for a guy in year 14. The guy is getting paid more than Kevin Durant and LeBron James. And with that kind of salary, for him to more often than not be a liability more than an asset. And Frank Vogel, a guy that won an NBA championship as this franchise's head coach, is going to Lakers management to get the okay to bench him in late game situations? Dude, you gotta know who you are. You gotta know what your role is. I mean, you are, again, the head coach. Your job is to put your team in a position to succeed, to know who the right five guys are at any particular time, the squad that's going to bring the game home for you, the individuals that have the best matchups on that particular night. Russell Westbrook against the Indiana Pacers was not very good. He was 5 for 17 from the field. His defense was suspect, and I'm being kind. He didn't deserve to be in the game at that point. You don't need the okay beforehand from Lakers management that you can bench a guy. That's your job. That is your number one job, to assign who and who will not be on the court at any said time. You are supposed to be maximizing this roster. You are supposed to be putting your players in positions to succeed. Guys have off nights. And Russell Westbrook has had a lot of them this season as a member of the LA Lakers. It's okay to put your foot down and say, Russ, this ain't your night. Let's go the next day or maybe that night, look at some game film and see areas that you can improve on, coverages in which you can be more effective with. And you know what? That is what a head coach does. It's not a guy who a game before or 2 games before goes up to Lakers management and says, hey, can I get your approval in order to bench a said player? And it ain't even a guy who's a great player anymore. That's ridiculous. What are you doing being a head coach of a team if you can't even make a basic decision as a head coach? Come on, man. You won an NBA championship as a head coach. You got credibility. You do. And if LeBron James doesn't necessarily like it, benching his buddy, that's okay too. That's your job. Your job's not to be liked. Your job is to be the leader, the head coach of a team, the decision maker. It's not to get the okay from management that says, well, you need to play a certain player a certain amount of minutes. Now, it's different with injury, but that's a player's health. But when it comes to a player not being great and they need to ride the pine for a little bit, that is your job. And if you don't believe enough in yourself that you have the autonomy and the decision-making skills to make said decision, you shouldn't be the head coach. There's a lot of guys that would give their left arm to be the Lakers head coach. And you know what? They'd have the confidence and the swagger after winning an NBA championship as a head coach to say, you know what? If I have to go to management to get the okay in order to, give a certain player a minute, so in order to cut a minute down for a player, that should not be my specific role, and it's not the right franchise for me. But the fact, Frank Vogel, that there is a process that you have to go to Lakers management in order to decide and determine how much a player should be playing, especially when they stink, you're not the right guy for this job. It's that simple. So, you know what? This is not a hammer Russell Westbrook session. I know he's getting a lot of criticism and a lot of flack from the media. This is a, hey, we have a head coach that doesn't really truly believe in himself, or is willing to accept very basic treatment for a subpar coach, and he is not a subpar coach. He's an NBA champion who happens to be a head coach, and he's acting like anything but. Laker fans, you deserve better. The NBA deserves better. And right now, it is a laughing stock when it comes to what the LA Lakers have turned into this season. So listen, if you like this, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you continue to check out videos on the Good Shepherd Sports YouTube channel. And up next week, we're going to break down the divisional round playoffs in the NFL. And I'm telling you right now, you heard it here first, you're going to have Rodgers versus Brady, and you're going to have Allen versus Mahomes. We're going to break that all down next weekend. But in the meantime, hope everyone stays safe, stays healthy, and thank you for taking the time to watch. Have a great rest of your week.